Making this video really took a lot of time and courage for me. Speaking about narcissistic mothers' abuses, and especially to be able to see it from a different lens, was not very easy for me. Here, I am sharing my journey with you so that probably some of you can find little tools, some ways to deal with the abuse and finally heal from it. So here we go. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know I took some time because in between so many things went on. I shifted city. If you are not following me on Instagram, there are so many updates I keep on giving there. I share so many insight tool. And by the way, you can also participate in selecting the topics for YouTube video. So if next time you want me to talk about the transformational things you are interested in, probably it would be wise to go and follow me on Instagram and participate on the poll that I create on my story about selection of the video topic. This week is for narcissistic mothers' abuse and how you can heal from them. Now, this is going to be a lot personal, and honestly, it was not easy for me to talk about it. Because as a child, you do not really understand these terms. You do not even know what is narcissism. So your life experience start with being not seen, being not acknowledged, feeling unloved, feeling burdened, starting to question and doubt your self-worth, feeling too much, and so much more probably. At least that's how it started for me. And it honestly impacted my entire childhood and teenage years, especially when I started to make more sense of the world, started to be in different relationship. I started to chase people, chase men to see me, to validate me, to acknowledge me, to tell me that I am beautiful, I am good enough. And for a really long time in my life, especially when I started to learn and understand more about narcissistic mother, I felt that my mom is probably the villain of my life, villain of my story. And then it were another few years of journey to finally have a different perspective of seeing things. Today, I am going to share all of this with you. From a psychological standpoint, narcissistic mothers are those mothers who are all self-centered. Everything revolves around them. They are always right. They gaslight you. They are emotionally unavailable most of the time and sometimes lack empathy as well. You cannot really connect with them and open your heart to them asking for guidance because they will always make it all about them. The love from a narcissistic mother feels conditional most of the time. Now, once again, as a child, you really cannot rationalize, analyze all of this. As a child, because your sensory body develop first and your mind gradually develop further over the years, trying to make sense of the world, you absorb all the memory, all the feeling through your body. So the moments, the feeling of you feeling unworthy, you feeling unseen, start to get stored inside your body. And then as an adult, probably you have low self-confidence, you cannot speak up for yourself, you are always trying to be the good person, you are trying to please others, you are always seeking for validation and whatnot. If you have already watched my previous video on shadow work, there I mentioned how while studying psychology and understanding shadow work and answering a specific question that you can actually go back and check in the video, it will give you insight about your shadow as well. I discovered that it's my mom who triggers me the most, whose behavior I dislike the most. And then it really took me long time to understand. More I hate her behavior, more I just become like her. If you have had narcissistic mother, probably you are still dealing with one. Today I am going to share certain tools with you, how to protect yourself, how to identify triggers, how to work through it. While I was dating few men, and I was very observant in my life at that phase. I was really taking note how exactly I am showing up, how exactly things are triggering me, how exactly I react, respond, and behave. And I realized unknowingly, rather, while I was trying to reject certain part of my mom so hard that I was simply repeating her behavior, the way she used to behave, the way she still behaves, the way she still reacts. I was just mimicking that unknowingly because I was hating it so much. In intergenerational trauma work, we address this issue how rejecting certain part of your ancestor or your family member simply cause you subconsciously repeating, imitating their behavior. So that was my first checking point, how exactly I am showing up and what are the things that really trigger me. If you have a narcissistic mom, the first thing you are going to do is to ask yourself which part of her I truly hate the most, which part of her really gets on my nerves. Now, I am not telling you to put up with all of her behavior. No, learning to protect yourself is going to be one of the biggest thing you can do for yourself. But while you sort of distance yourself from her physically, mentally, energetically, a big chunk of work is also going to be around how you identify you are just reflecting her behavior and what you can do so that you heal inside, not to please her, not to please anyone in the world, but because you want to experience something greater, something more peaceful inside. The second point is going to be how you can protect yourself mentally, psychologically, and energetically from the abuses. See, I really want to give you a different perspective today, but I also want you to leave with at least certain tool that you can practice every single day to keep yourself protected and safe. First thing first, if you can, make physical distance from her. I ran away from my family 9 years back because at that time I didn't have too many tools and resources to cope up with the challenges that she was throwing at me. Today, probably I can. But at that time, the best thing I could do for myself was just to shifting city. Now, many of you may not be able to do that, although I highly encourage that. Being a woman, the best thing you can do is to shift into different city, take the entire responsibility for yourself. It shifted you like nothing else in the world. But as of now, if you cannot make physical distance, then you will need to learn how to create energetical distance and mental distance. See, for narcissistic mother, most of the time they are quite unpredictable. They give you really lovey-dovey behavior sometimes, and you do very small mistake without you truly knowing, and there is this harsh and cold behavior. So it's mostly unpredictable. What you need to do is gradually building this sense inside that I am going to be more observant of my reaction, how I feel around it, and I want to neutralize my action. Not feeling too loved, not feeling too rejected, but I am simply going to neutralize my reaction. And it took years of practice and healing for me. Your parents come before you. They are going to be bigger than you anyway. They are supposed to give to you and you are supposed to receive. It was really heartbreaking for me to realize that there is not much that I can actively receive from her. Or at least I cannot receive the thing that I really desire to receive from her. Not because she doesn't love me, but because she really has nothing more to offer to me. And it is heartbreaking as a child. At this point, I genuinely feel having a narcissistic mom can be one of the main spiritual ingredient in your life to understand human experience, learning to love people, learning to love yourself, reclaiming your space, power, and finally evolve. It's challenging, it's really challenging, but once you can truly start to connect with yourself and see things from different perspective, I promise a lot of things will change inside you and around you. The other thing that you can do to protect your energy, you wake up every single day visualizing a protective bubble around you. Just close your eyes and try to visualize, imagine a golden bubble shielding around you, creating a shield of protection. Only holding on to this intention is going to be enough, but you may need to repeat it as many times as needed throughout the day. So you are creating the physical distance if you can. If not, just try to limit the encounter at least till the time you know how to handle all the emotion that comes up for you. You are creating the energetical bubble protection for yourself. You are going to feel way more energetically safe. You will not be that much drained if you truly practice this habit. And third, learning to create the psychological distance as well. You are not being too dependent for any validation, for any emotion on her. Again, not because she doesn't love you, she doesn't care about you, but because she is probably incapable of that. It was only when I was getting trained in intergenerational trauma healing, I was healing the parental wound as well. I could actually see her from a different lens altogether. Because as a child, my own feeling of needs not being met, feeling unloved was so much. My needs were so big to me that I couldn't see her through the lens of just a simple human being, not my mom, but a human being. When I started to learn about her story, it was tragic and pathetic. If you can get to the level of loving and understanding yourself more, if you can reparent yourself, if you can heal yourself to a certain extent, probably only then this lens can appear to you. Because at that time, you will have some tools within you to make yourself feel loved, seen, comfort yourself, soothe yourself, and you will not be relying so much on her. You know, there is a saying, it's only when your bucket is full, you can pour onto someone other. When your needs are met, probably you can see someone else's need as well. So when I actually picked my mother's story, she didn't have a mom. My mother's mother were schizophrenic and there are so many tragedy happened throughout her life which made her so self-centric in a way that all she can do is just to protect herself in every possible way. Today, I actually invite you, if you can, only if you can, sit for a while and try to see and ask what was my mother's story, how she became what she is today. Now, honestly speaking, this part took really long years for me. Earlier, I could just see her story. I just knew her story, but I couldn't actually understand the impact of it. So, till the time I was healed to a certain extent, I could do not see it through different lens. So today I invite you for the same. Please remember, in the process, you will be needing to reparent yourself as well. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe. If you are enjoying the topic that I am bringing here, do let me know, because as I just mentioned, I would really love to bring something more on how you can actually start to reparent yourself slowly and gradually. So do let me know if you would like something related to this. To finally bring everything together, first, how you identify a narcissistic mom. When you see your mom being fully self-centered and you unable to connect with her, and as a result you have developed self-doubt, constantly feeling burdened, constantly questioning yourself, constantly trying to be a nice girl, constantly looking out for validation, constantly seeking out for love, especially when you actually cannot connect with her at all. Because you see, when you take yourself to her, it's all about her. There is not much space for you. So you have identified. The second thing you will need to do is to find a space for yourself for healing. And I highly recommend working with someone. You can go on the internet and try to look out for tool. No doubt that's helpful. But when you commit to a safe space, when you can commit to yourself with a person, the journey simply amplifies. If you connect with my energy and want me to hold safe space for you, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to support you and show you how gradually you can come back to your power once again. Now, when you have done some significant amount of work on yourself, only then probably you can have a different landscape towards the entire situation. In my teenage, when I was dealing with a lot of unavailable partner, feeling very needy, feeling too much, I couldn't even understand why my soul is here, what's the spiritual thing about it. All I could do is to find a way to survive, and then from survival to how to create space for thriving, flowing, growing. And once that was done, only then I could have higher lens of seeing the entire situation. You, as a soul, do choose your mom. And it's a soul contract that you both share. It was my very recent realization that the way I have challenges with her, she also has challenges with me. And on a soul level, we have picked it. So when you can acknowledge it, a different doorway opens for you. And through that, you can only transform and heal and grow. As a child, you are supposed to receive unconditional love from your parent. But when that love becomes conditional and you consciously embark on the spiritual journey of understanding things, healing, there is no other way than finding the unconditional love inside. And trust you me, this is one of the greatest experience you can have in human experience. I am not telling you to not acknowledge your pain. All I am inviting you today is to see your pain, validate your pain, and not to be stuck there. You may feel like you are a victim, but what if I tell you you are not? Even if you do not understand the spiritual reason, can you just tell yourself, whatever is happening in my circumstances, probably I do not deserve that, but I can definitely find my way, and I will be finding my way. Only holding on to this intention is enough to shift a lot of things in your life. At least it shifted everything for me. In this process, you truly learn to understand yourself better. You learn unconditional love. You learn to love yourself. You connect with yourself better. And if, only if, you can see her story, your mother's story, through the lens of compassion, probably you will be healing generational traumas as well. I am going to end today's discussion here. Do leave your comment about your experience, the challenges you are probably having, and I can help you more on that then. I will see you on the next video. Do subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment, follow me on my Instagram, and I am attaching all the link of my work below. If you want to connect with me and book a consultation call, feel free to reach out to me. Sending lots of love to you. I am here to remind you that you are worthy of unconditional love and everything is happening with a purpose. You are loved. You are unconditionally loved and supported no matter what. I just want you to remember this once again. See you in the next video real soon.